We are joined this morning by Fayetteville Volleyball head coach Jessica Phelan. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning, Blair.
Good morning. First off, how's this pandemic adjustment been for you and your family?
Well, like anybody, we're normally, when you have, we have three kids at home and we're both coaches. And so we go all year long. It seems like we have stuff going all the time. Um, and so it's been a major slowdown, which has its benefits. Like it's been, really nice to have extra time with our kids. And it's nice that they have each other. There's three of them and I'm pretty close in age. So they've been entertaining each other and playing games. And so we've been making the best of it for sure.
Excellent. And now, as far as terms of coaching and you and your volleyball team, you're able to get tryouts in and everything. But
Yeah.
now, what do you do to keep everybody involved? Because it's important to stay active because you're one of the first sports that will start in the fall if everything gets back to normal.
Yeah, we are fortunate in that we did have tryouts right before the school closure. And so we do have our team set. So we have been able to, get them together. In the month of April, we had our rising seniors kind of each lead a workout that was, kind of fun and engaging and, did some other games, for them to kind of get to know each other just a little bit. And, they're a pretty motivated crew. So for the most part, I feel like a lot of them, we didn't do anything. They're like the type of kids that would work out anyway. But the benefit for us of like, having them get on a Zoom call or whatever is that like collective togetherness that you need in the sport of volleyball. It's a kind of the ultimate team sport. And so for us to be able to, see their faces, see them working hard together, at least we're making the best of it and try to take small steps forward towards our season is one of the first in the fall. So it's been really good to see the kids maintain some focus and energy even when they're not together.
Say, looking at the Twitter account, you guys are staying active, very
Yeah.
active with the different workouts and the Zoom.
Uh-huh.
I mean, how
Yeah.
has that changed? Is that going to change the way you coach, maybe?
I think um, you take away, the positives from, this time period. And I think, you learn a lot about, the strengths of your kids and, who's really self-motivated and, the technology again, too, like, it forces you to learn new things as a teacher, as an educator, as a coach. And for sure, I think that it allows, there's situations where you want to be able to, remotely access your kids and, maybe during, the month of June, we usually give them off. And so this is something that we could take forward in future years. Coach Lewigs, who you saw in that first Twitter post, she's really great at coming up with workouts and she's really creative. And, she's been able to come up with a lot of workouts for the kids that they can do at home with, little to no equipment, which is something that's, really good to have moving forward too. So yeah, there's definitely some takeaways that we feel like will benefit us in the future.
Speaking of the physical activity, it's important that they have time to rest, but also they need to stay active because the season's not that far away when you start really thinking about it. And
Yeah.
that is a major concern of a lot of coaches. So, has the buy in on the participation been very good? How have the kids responded to that? Because I think at this point, they're looking for something to do.
Yeah. I know that, just from my own personal children, it's like they almost, look forward to that point in the day where they can, get off their screens and, get outside or, do something active. And um, I think, for us in volleyball, we do have, that short window of time to prepare between, July, August. And so it's important for the kids to come in, with some, degree of preparation. I think that, at the same time, like, every kid's situation is different. And so I think that, whenever we get to start practice, we as coaches will have to implement some degree of flexibility too and kind of meet kids where they're at. And but yeah, we're just really looking forward to that day, just like the kids are, to be able to get back on the court and play and see their friends. I'm sure they're very anxious to, just be together.
No question about that. Now, if in a normal world, when would you all start practice?
Well, normally after tryouts, we have a few practices together, like with everybody in the spring. And then obviously we have, the training during the school year. And then normally we, give them some time off, give them some at-home workouts in June. And then we normally start the first week of July after the dead period and do camps and kind of get going and get ready for the year.
And speaking of camps, obviously summer is a huge time for development.
Yeah.
And now with that kind of in limbo, is player development going to take a little bit of a hit this year as a result?
I think that, a lot of volleyball players and families, like we were involved in club volleyball, and, that season has, kind of got stopped dead in the middle of its tracks. And there's no telling if it, will salvage any part of that season this year. And then you have a lot of colleges that have canceled camps and things like that. I think that there's both, the potential, downfall of that is, some degree of player development. But at the same time, a lot of these kids that are playing year round, like a break is not the worst thing in the world for them. Their bodies, like a lot, some of those kids have been playing year round, and, they're looking down the road as a potential college athlete, a couple months with a little less wear and tear on their bodies isn't probably not the worst thing in the world. And then I think too, as a coach, you just have to encourage, them. Maybe, this is like the time where you think way outside the box. And in our sport, it obviously lends itself to, being an outdoor activity as well. So I think that, you looking towards the summer, like I think that, people play volleyball in their backyard, and they can play volleyball in the sand and things like that, maybe isn't quite the same as going to a college camp, but there's still lots and lots of ways in the sport of volleyball to get touches. And I see our kids doing that too. So that's promising.
You mentioned the kids getting some time off. How about the coaches? From a coaching's perspective, is it nice to maybe have to be forced to take some time off and kind of recharge? Because I know coaches tend to be driven and constant and go, go, go. But has it been nice to kind of have a little bit of a break?
Yeah, for sure. Like I talked about earlier, like, our life kind of hit a major pause button from like go, go, go. We, have 3 kids, and they actually, both of our boys were playing volleyball too. And then they all 3 were in track. So we went from a spring where it was going to be literally like a track meet or volleyball practice, every single night of the week, to now we're home, spending a lot of time together. And so we really have cherished that as family, and, as coaches. I think that, it helps you like just put in perspective too, like, what's most important, because what do the kids really miss right now? They don't necessarily, everyone likes to win and that kind of thing, but what they're really missing right now is the game, and what they're really missing right now is their teammates. And I think that it's just a good reminder too to put the most important things first. And if we can all take that back with a little healthier and better perspective moving forward, I think that, that's a potential benefit too.
No question. And I wonder too if when we get back to having games, if people just will appreciate more having the game than so much the outcome, just the opportunity again to play. Because it seems like sometimes as a society we tend to forget just what a joy the opportunity is, and we worry too much about the outcome.
For sure. I agree. Like you stress so much about the outcome. And I think that, that's not so much what the kids are stressing about right now. That, they just want to get back out there and play.
No question about it. Well, speaking of playing, do you have time to play our quick quiz?
Yes.
Sure. All right. Here we go. Hold on. Which will you be more likely to do? Take the family out to a restaurant or to get the haircut?
Oh, to the restaurant. Yeah, for sure. I actually have tried my hair at the hair cutting over the break. That's been interesting.
Oh, and how did it go?
Um, well, my boys both approved. So, teenagers are hard to please. So I guess it was okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
you may have a little side hustle going on there. All right. Next, can you play a musical instrument?
Well, could I play a musical instrument might be a better phrase because I did play the clarinet in the band in junior high. So I could play the musical instrument. I cannot currently play a musical instrument.
How much time would you need to get up to speed?
Um, Probably a few months. I mean, it's been a good long while. I might have to pick up something. I did take a semester piano class at the U of A too, so that might be more my speed at this point. But.
Okay. Board game at the Phelan. Oh, I'm sorry, grilling. Which are more likely to grill, beef, chicken, or pork?
We are a big fan of the pork steaks at Richard's Meat Market. Love me some Richard's Meat Market. We've hit the pork chops at the Richard's Meat Market quite a few times.
Shameless plug. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
And last movie you saw at the theater?
Oh, dear. My husband would be like really disappointed in me right now because he's Mr. Movie Buff. Oh, gosh. I can't even remember the last movie I saw at the theater. I think it was there a Spider-Man this year? I think I saw that last Spider-Man.
Okay.
But,
I'm not even sure, but we'll take that
failing
answer.
on the movie. Failing on the movie.
All right. Which have you seen, Ozark or Tiger King? And if you haven't, which would you watch tonight?
Okay, I watched them both. I am a fan of the Ozark. It kind of brings me back. I mean, not like I am into the drug cartel situation, but my parents, I did go with my grandparents to the Lake of the Ozarks. I'm a Missouri girl. And when I was growing up, they had a cabin at the Lake of the Ozarks. So it's kind of weird, to see a movie. You don't really see TV shows in mid-Missouri very often. So it's been kind of fun.
True. How surprised were you by the ending? Without giving it away, but did you see it coming?
It was clutch. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. No, it was good. Yeah.
Do you have any idea what season 4 should have or which direction it should go?
At some point you just are really rooting for them to have some redeeming moments where they just put a stop to the craziness. But they just keep making one bad decision that leads to another and leads to another. So I'm just hoping for some, I don't know, get the kids out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. And hopefully we will be talking about a volleyball season this fall soon.
Yes.
Things starting to open up a little bit each day, so we're kind of hopeful, and gyms have started. So July 1 is kind of the target date. We need to hear for volleyball to get back to normal. Is that correct?
Yeah, that would be. We normally get going that first week in July. So fingers crossed, and we'll just keep rolling with it and making the best of whatever situation we're in at that point. It's kind of the goal. So my kids have played a lot of tennis. So it's great. So
well, tennis is a pretty good social distancing sport since you're on opposite sides of the net. So
yeah.
Well, excellent. Well,
sure.
All the best to you and the family, and we will catch up with you soon. And thank you so much for your time this morning.
All right. Thanks, Blair.
Thanks, Jessica.